Earlier this week, Visixfan announced that there would be a tournament on the 27th of February, this upcoming Saturday. That would be the Little War Game February Cup. It would be a 2-day double elimination, best of 3 style format. And so far, we have a list of the players, and we actually have 10 thus far, and we'll just go over them as they appear. So we've got Neronzz, who's PranksterGangster. Then we have Rerks, glaba, therx, MrRynus, WeirdRat, Visixfan, heroofages, Aicy, and humon. So I thought it would be a good test of the way that I see the game, and just to drum up some hype and get something for people to talk about, right? For me to do a power ranking of these people, for me to try and say, okay, assuming we have nobody else who enters in this tournament, keeping in mind that it is double elimination, there will be best of 3 matches, and it may be, in fact, occurring over the course of 2 days, and given that Visixfan himself is participating in it, hey, what better way to drum up hype, right? Like, I'm certainly curious in this because this tournament will be happening right after the conversation and the 2 hours that are pre-blocked for the mentor tournament, which will be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. EST. This is going to be taking place at 5 EST on that same Saturday. So I am definitely interested in where the game will go, and stream and everything permitting, I will in fact be streaming that exact event. So here we go. We've got our 10 players. Who's number 10? No one wants to be number 10. I'm going to have to give it to humon. And the reason I'm going to give it to humon is not because humon is a bad player, but who on this list do I think that humon can beat? Humon can beat a lot of people. The humon special, the aspect where you just take this tech tree and this tech tree and just merge them together and you make something happen with a build that doesn't actually work, but somehow it's so stupid that in fact it does, and there's like weird synergies that shouldn't be happening, right? That's a thing that can get a game. But if this is a best of 1, or if this were a GSL style format, humon would have nothing to worry about. I would actually praise humon's chances over some of those of the other players if we're just looking at them as a list of people in that GSL style format where you play a series of best of 1s and you get ranking against this person and that person and you decide who elevates from there. Right. The problem is we don't live in that world. And additionally, this is a best of 3 double elimination tournament. I don't think that the cat can be let out of the bag. Like, the secret can be unveiled and then put back in so many times. I would love to be wrong, but I just don't. If we had to rank humon's chances of winning the event, I don't think that it's very likely. Next on that list, now, there are 9 other people that we're going to go through. So this is going to be a surprising number 9. I know someone's just going to hate this already. I actually have heroofages. Now, that's going to sound blasphemous, because shouldn't heroofages be better than PranksterGangster? Shouldn't heroofages just have more experience than therx? Like, shouldn't heroofages have the good, like, factional matchup against Rynus? And those are all good points. There's just one problem. Behind the scenes, heroofages is not able to participate in the mentor tournament because of the amount of time that they are able to spend. They weren't able to devote sufficient time to do that, despite being a player who would be strong enough to be a mentor alongside the list of the other mentors that you see on this list. So that makes me wonder how much time heroofages has actually been spent playing. And if you're playing a lot, you just have advantages and skills and comfort that you don't have normally. And I don't think that there's any easy match to get heroofages into this. Like, let's say heroofages, the bracket gets reset, and the first match that heroofages has is, let's say Rynus. Factional balance should be in heroofages' favor, right? It's doable. I don't think that that's going to come. What if it's someone who's like a little bit lower, one of like the person just above them or one step above them? The problem is all those people are playing a lot more games than heroofages, at least that I can see. And spoiler, I get to see some of the ults that these people have. So unless heroofages is just on in the tiny wee hours that I am not, I don't see how it's going to happen for heroofages. They can definitely work themselves into stronger form. They can definitely get up to that point, especially since they don't have pre-commitments for the mentor tournament. But I don't know if that's too much to ask. And until I see that it is, plenty to go off of, I'm going to say that no, that's too much. And I'm going to leave heroofages at number 9. Number 8, I'm actually going to put at PranksterGangster. Now, for me, this is the valuation between how hard someone is working versus how skilled they once were. because you could easily flip the two of these, right? You could have PranksterGangster be number 9 and heroofages be number 8. The problem is, as I said, I see PranksterGangster's on the grind constantly. He seems to have this like player coach mentality where he's going to play more games, and if he can just play more games, he can figure more things out, and then that knowledge will trickle down to his students. And he's taking his role in the mentor tournament very seriously. He's on the Discord quite actively. He's in voice chat fairly often. This is a person who's involved. This is a person who wants to spec games and watch streams and do all of their due diligence in that way. But the thing is that's holding PranksterGangster down this low. Of the 10 people, then I've got him 8, is that you might be improving, but how much do you have to improve for it to actually be worth it, right? Maybe you're improving in just one style. That'll be great for getting best of 1 games and show match type things going on, but is it really good for you in a best of 3 setting? I don't know that PranksterGangster has the experience to stack up against the field. Again, that's what we're talking about. It's not about whether or not these players are bad or good. We're not using those terms. We're saying relative to the field, how do they stack up? What are their strengths and are their weaknesses? And as I said, I think that PranksterGangster has been on the come up, and he does play this like heavy wolf snake style that, hey man, you can get wins off of that. You can just smack people. You can just run over them with army units. If they miss position, they do something improperly. You know, you're kind of forgiven because you have all of those units that can circle around and trap. And that's fantastic. But I think it's a bridge too far to say that PranksterGangster is somehow going to end up 3rd or 4th on this list. You just listen to the names that I'm going to be going up here in order, and you'll think that that might be a little bit too far for PranksterGangster to go. Moving on, we have number 7. My number 7 is WeirdRat. Now, there is some recency bias in this, in that WeirdRat I saw played a game against Hobo on stream, or as part of a video while we were doing the stream for the Mentor Tournament. WeirdRat looked very strong. Getting to a game that is that long on Stream Junction, only losing to somebody because they've like merged together this perfect concoction of mage, catapult, dragon with towers and pre-positioning in the split map, that's a hard place to get to. Nearly getting to that is a testament to a certain level of resiliency. But my fear is that WeirdRat is the kind of person who they'll be following this path, they'll be doing this thing, and then all of a sudden they'll look shaky, or they won't know what to do, or their attack will get turned aside. I don't know also if WeirdRat has that killer instinct to just say, I don't think you're as good as me, I'm just going to 2-dan you, I'm just going to like 2-Racks proxy raider you, I'm going to flex in a different way, I'm going to go castle first, even though we're on a map that you shouldn't be able to do that on, right? I don't know if WeirdRat has that mentality. He strikes me as somebody who's like kind of Norm-like in that he plays a single way and he plays solidly, but not Norm-like in that his decision-making is... He tends to turtle up when something goes badly his way. And I think that overall resiliency is enough to overcome people like Humon and maybe heroofages rustiness, especially since WeirdRat's been playing these games, and PranksterGangster is on the come up, but that's nothing new to WeirdRat. And if you're focusing on not dying, you can play a game a lot longer than if your focus is to win. And I believe that that'll work in WeirdRat's favor. But I don't think it allows him to crack any of the people above here. In fact, he has less of an ability to crack above where he is in the list so far at number 7 than anybody else that I've mentioned thus far, because Humon can make something happen in a game of 1, and then who knows what can happen for the best of 3, right, to secure it. PranksterGangster's come up might actually just be that strong. heroofages might get a simple matchup in the beginning, and that like rests him into form so that he can play a longer, more involved game and not be punished immediately for his mistake. I just don't know if WeirdRat has that next gear to go to for this. Like, there's nothing that's not currently being done that WeirdRat can push into, and just being very stable is not a great way to win, right? It's a great way to not lose. And if you understand the difference, you understand why I put WeirdRat there. The next person I'm going to have, he's actually in the same ballpark as WeirdRat, but for entirely different reasons, is Rerks. So Rerks' micro is way too strong, I think, for the people below him. Like, I think, for instance, PranksterGangster, if he tries to go, like, beast versus beast, Rerks is just going to flex on him by having better micro. I think Rerks has been playing around and been playing the game often enough. He's certainly in Discord watching enough games. Watching a game doesn't put you in the same form as playing the game, not even close, because there is the mechanical skill, not the mechanics of the keyboard, right? It's your hands. It's making sure that your hands are active and they know what to do and they can go through the motions smoothly. But if you're playing a lot of games and you're watching a lot of games, and you've been playing as long as Rerks has, like, he can just pick apart some of these people. He can just absolutely body some of these people. He can just, like, take the knife and, like the Raider, shiv a couple of these people with that skill alone. He even, I think, he's in the same ballpark as the person above him, which we'll get to in a second, in that he's kind of like this is part of why I put WeirdRat below Rerks. Rerks is like a WeirdRat that has this ace in the hole. Like, and I wouldn't say that it's an ace, compared to the other people in this tournament, it might be a queen. But that micro and that ability to just shoot and kill people off the bat is going to be very pressing for someone like WeirdRat, who, even though normally I put them in about the same tier level, I just think the skill matchup there is way too strong in Rerks' favor. At the same rank, right, I'm going to have them tied for 6th. I have them listed in this notepad file as above Rerks, but I actually think that they're even. It's therx. That's going to sound crazy. Hear me out. Therx has beaten Yummy Glaba. Therx has beaten Glaba. Therx has absolutely stomped over other people in pseudo matches and scrims for the mentor tournament coming up. He just seems to have clicked. I don't know what he's doing or how he managed it. This is a guy who's been playing for a very long time. There's YouTube videos going back a couple of years where I cast with Visixfan, where Visixfan absolutely demolishes Therx, and Therx is going for mech, of all things, on a map that was very good for mech. And in fact, like, Therx is this guy who historically had a terrible connection and like internet speed and just what? And it just seems like somehow like he's grabbed all the pieces together and like Voltron them together, like form micro and macro, form beast and mech, and I'll make the win. Like, he's just managed somehow to make something excellent happen. Now, I have heard tell that his growth is actually very particular. It's very strange. He seems to have grown in the decision-making aspects of macro and in prioritizing macro. However, his cheese defense is a little wonky, not universally, but in this spot and in that spot. And the problem is, I actually think he does have a chance, albeit a small one. He does have a chance to beat the person I have number 3 on the list, but the 4 remaining people are Aicy, glaba, Rerks, Visixfan. With the exception of Rerks, all of those people can cheese. All of those people are known to cheese. All those people have the ability to find the cracks in the person. In fact, I think Therx's biggest problem is going to be that as the bracket sits right now, his first round opponent is his mentor, who knows everything about who he is as a player and how he plays. And since this bracket was set up after they started doing mentoring, I don't see the likelihood that Therx somehow was like gigabrain hiding all of that information. So without that, we're going to go past Therx. And now we're going to get to the first dark horse of the tournament. Because at numbers 5 through 10, I'm just going to be honest, if they win, I've either been grossly mistaken, yes, by nature, or something happens that was not accounted for, like someone drops or lags or something. There would have to be something. I don't consider those people to have a chance to win the tournament, right? They can go far, they can place, they can do whatever they'd like, but I don't think that they have the chance to win. So the first person I have is the dark horse, and this is the category of you could win, but I don't expect it. It's of all people, Visixfan. Now, what's interesting about Visixfan is that, yes, he's been playing a long time, but this is a guy who, in Discord, he was mad that he lost a single game to Therx. This is a guy who, he does beat Rerks, and he does beat heroofages, and he does beat these people. And in fact, there's one concern that I have for Visixfan, which is that while he's beaten all these people, he's done through all these interactions, and he's seen all these games, and he talks a good game, right? He has that like braggadocious, almost shit-talking mentality, right? The problem I have with Visixfan is as follows. He's lost a lot of games recently trying to play off against stronger players, and I think he's starting to feel the pressure of people coming up from underneath of him. And so he's actually at the tail end of what I would consider a dark horse, because if he actually has that confidence and can leverage all of the experience that he undoubtedly has, then he has the chance to get to the finals. Now, I don't know if he'll win in the finals. In fact, as a general trend, I don't think dark horses will win the entire event. I'm just saying that there's the potential. There's enough skill sets there that it is possible, even if at an unlikely percentage chance. Like, where everyone below them, to my estimation, has a 0% chance. A dark horse, it might even be like 5%. in a head-to-head against the person in the finals, but they might do it. Now, going up from there is a person who actually, I think you've got to put him up here because he will demolish so many people below him, but I don't think he has any chance to crack the area above him. Number 3 is Rerks, and the problem I have with Rerks is this: he is a perfect semifinal conditional finalist. I don't see him winning the whole thing, and here's why. Because the 2 people above him, I've got to talk about them in reference to Rerks. The only 2 people left are Aicy and glaba. And both of them have beaten Rerks comprehensively. Both of them play the faction that is strong against Rerks and beaten him comprehensively on a variety of maps. Rerks is a person who, the way that he sets his mech ball army up, it will demolish people who don't have a certain level of macro, micro, game awareness, like all of that. Got it. Like this, there are a couple spots in this list where can that person beat everyone below them? No, but I think they have this upside in that, and that makes it possible that they can. Rerks is just gonna smash the people below him, with the possible exception of Visixfan, but I only say possible exception to Visixfan. The problem is that whereas Visixfan has this upside that he can get to, I can see him doing such things. And I'm not saying that Rerks can only play the Doom mech push style. He can play gyrocraps quite well. He just plays mech. The problem is that I think he's run into people that are going to smash him in the number 1 and number 2 slot. And the only way that I see him making a finals, especially because it's best of 3, especially because it's double elimination, is if number 1 and number 2 fight each other in a semifinal and Rerks plays anybody else on this list. Then I do see Rerks getting to the finals, but I don't think that he is one of these next 2 people. So number 2 for the tournament so far is glaba, and I've got him in contender status. Whereas a dark horse is like, you could go really far. You could get, like, dark horse to me is, you could get to semifinals, or potentially if you do well to finals. Like, are you really going to win? No one's like, it'd have to be like a Cinderella story. It would have to have a bunch of things going right for that to happen. But glaba is a contender, and that to me is a person who has a chance of winning the entire thing. A noteworthy, categorical level of skill difference chance of winning the entire thing. Glaba is a guy who, he has absolutely destroyed mech in the past. That's Rerks, by the way. He's destroyed that entire style. He's played strongly in the Little Wargame Team League. He's the developer, but he is taking an active role. He has played a lot of games. He's kind of like a super Visixfan in their skill set. And what I mean in the relative skills, like not the in-game skills, but the mental benefits that they bring in. And that glaba has more experience than Visixfan. He's better at not trash talking so much, but he has like a bit of the Rerks micro in him. And he has all of the strength that you would expect of an experienced player. Like, what can you do? And also, this guy is the kind of guy who, yeah, he'll play a long game and then just beat you because he's mined 1 gold mine, 2,500 more gold than you over the course of a 25-minute game. He can play the game short, long, any direction that he wants to. Glaba can take it. And additionally, he has the benefit, which I didn't go over for some of these other ones, that glaba is the coach of therx. Therx is my number 5 rank, right? Or shares with Rerks the number 6 rank. And that's a huge advantage to have that like mental edge against somebody who is on the come up, and then to just be so clearly above other people that are further down on this list. Like, I think glaba has a real shot. The one point that I have against glaba is that I don't know how busy he has been with school, work, Little Wargame development, things of that nature, and those are not inconsequential. Those take time and effort away from actually playing, but I feel like it's very likely that glaba didn't sign up for this out of form, completely out of practice, and just thought, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and... No, it's extremely likely that he has put at least some effort inside of his play, inside of his effort, and that when he shows up, he's actually going to be a person who can smash the people below him and then take games off of other people. Which leads us to our number 1. I don't know why you watched the video for this long thinking that this wouldn't be the case. Number 1 has got to be Aicy, and I'll just say it flatly. I don't see Slammer 4. I don't see Dragon Archer Z. Okay, like, I believe Destroy Call also beat Aicy in a recent turn. I don't see that name on here either. It's not that Aicy can't lose to any of these people. The problem for everyone below is that Aicy is playing in a best-of-3 double elimination. He has 2 tournaments live. Let's say things go terribly. Somehow the bracket is set up. Aicy and Glaba play against each other in the very first round. By the way, we're going to have to talk to Visixfan about that and his tournament organization if it happens, because that's not acceptable. But if that happens, right, Aicy and Glaba, first round, play against each other. Aicy loses 1-2, which is probably, I'm not going to say that's what would happen, but if he did lose, he would get at least a game off. He goes to the loser's bracket. Who is Aicy going to lose to all the way up to the grand finals? Is Aicy going to lose against RerKs? No, because RerKs has the least potential to go up from there. Is he going to lose to Visixfan? No, he's like, if Glaba is better Visixfan, Aicy is like, he's like up here, like you can't even see how far up into the stratosphere he is. Is Aicy going to lose to therx? I mean, maybe if he's feeling a little bit shook about the fact that therx beat Yummy Blah Blah, but Yummy Blah Blah is a name from a long time ago in an entirely different meta, and Aicy is a versatile enough player that he can expose and will expose the chinks in therx's armor. Is Aicy versus Rerks something that is under consideration when Visixfan considers Rerks something of a punching bag? I don't think so. Can PranksterGangster reach up to that level? No, there's no way. Like, the only person I see being able to beat Aicy in a best-of-3, and specifically in a tournament setting, is Glaba. And I need to go over that right quick. This is the invisible modifier that Aicy has, that these other people either don't have to the same extent or are just lacking entirely. Which is, when Aicy is playing in a tournament, he's not playing for fun. He's not dirtling around. He's not doing stupid things that could get him killed. He just has this mental resiliency that other people don't have, and he just like locks in to winning. And how many games do you see where it's like Aicy lost to somebody that he underestimated in a tournament? It doesn't happen. Like that loss against Destroy Call that I was talking about, that happened about a year ago in that tournament. Yeah, Aicy lost to Destroy Call because game 1, one of them cheesed, I believe, game 1, Destroy Call cheesed Aicy, game 2, Aicy cheesed Destroy Call, and then game 3 was just on Xenos, I believe, which is this, like, really tiny map, and a lot can happen on that map, so I don't think that besmirches Aicy's reputation in any way, and especially since he's a developer, I'm going to go the opposite way of Glaba's. Here's the thing, Glaba is in charge of development. Yes, broadly for Little Wargame, but he's working on things like features. What is Aicy working on? Not only the gameplay and balance and design of the game. Are you kidding me? Like, if anything, it's not his job because no one's getting paid to it, but it's literally like the thing that he's responsible for is to make sure that he has an understanding of all these things. So even if he's not the strongest player, which I think he is, by the way, he's got such a wealth of knowledge, all this experience, and then the fact that it's also a tournament format, and the fact that it's not single elimination. Do you think that it's anybody but Aicy? Come on, I certainly don't. If you enjoyed this video or any of the content that I've made on the Little Wargame RTS channel, in mods, in campaigns, tutorials, or throughout the Little Wargame social media sphere, please consider going down to the Patreon in the description box below and see if any of the tiers there or the content therein interest you.